the RAF recruiting pilots to begin with?
There at the March Field where we took our exam to go in the Air Corps. Why, a number of the lads, like myself, were disappointed that we didn't make it. Somebody was talking about, hey, there's an outfit down in Hollywood that's recruiting people for the RAF. And so we got to banding it around and decided, well, we'll go down and take a look.
and you went over, so that was the Clayton Night Committee, was it?
That's correct.
Okay, so what was it like when you showed up inside the door of the Clayton Night Committee? How were they to deal with?
They were, well, the only people we dealt with, I think, was the little gal recruiting. And she, I guess, got it all the data down and so forth, and says, okay, well, we'll send you out for a check ride and go from there.
And where'd you do your check ride then?
I did it out at Telegraph and Atlantic, there east of L.A. And I remember out there they had, the field was in between a sort of a V field, very narrow, between the high tension lines. And all you had to do is come in on one wing down and the other wing way high, and you could get down on the ground over the high tension line.
So when you managed to survive that, then they shipped you off to Tulsa, did they, or to Spartan, or where?
Yes,
And how many fellas then ended up heading over to Spartan from your bunch then?
Well, there was two other fellows I met there at the airport at Glendale. They gave us tickets, you know, on the airline to go to, well, I don't remember where we went. I know we went to Winslow to where we refueled, and I got off to call my folks there. I live in Winslow, Arizona. And I met Charlie Cook and Bill Wallace. The three of us down there, we were the only three young lads, all, you know, in their sports coat and all that stuff. Those days you traveled first class, you know. And we were the only young ones there, so I figured we got to talking and found out we're all three going to the same place.
And what did your parents think of this adventure?
Well, they told me it was real late in the night when we got they called them, and they said, well, write when you get there.
And when did they hear from you next? Did you write from there, or
no, I
wrote
wrote
from until you got overseas?
I wrote from Tulsa, you know, and so forth, and that was it.
And how long was your course then over at Spartan? Roughly how long were you there?
I'd have to get the logbook out, but I don't recall. It was about 2 months, something like that.
And then at that time, did they give you any idea what you'd be doing after you got overseas, or what the RAF life would be all about, or was it strictly flying and that was it?
Yeah, that was about it. We had a lad that was one of our instructors that claimed to have been over there, and he was giving us all the hullabaloo about the instrument flying. That was his prime job, and telling us about how we've had to fly down between the balloons on instruments and all this stuff, and that sort of panicked us and made us concentrate on what we're doing. But and then we had a group captain came over and talked to the bunch one time.
So they were low key then. Well, you were in the States, and the RAF kind of kept low key until you.
Very low key. Very low key.
I guess in case there was any problem with the Neutrality Act.
Right.
So then from there they shipped you off to Ottawa. Is that?
Oh yeah. So went up to Ottawa, and we spent a few days up there, and.
Did they give you any check rides or anything up there?
Yes, I was the one that was chosen out of the group. And I went out to, I think it was, what is it, Radcliffe?
Yeah, Upland there.
Yeah, Upland. Upland.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that, yeah.
They checked you out in a Harvard up there?
Right. Checked me out to see how I could do it then. And I guess I walked through that one okay too.
And then everybody else passed, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Red Campbell told me that's what they did with him, is they chose one out of the bunch.
Right.
He passed, so everybody passed.
That's it.
So when you got to Ottawa, now you're across the border out of the U.S. Away from the Neutrality Act? Did they lay it on heavy then about what you'd be doing and life in the RAF?
No, I never. We had a visit with, what was his name? One of the real gentlemen.
Oh, this was a RAF guy.
This was somebody else there that met us there. And of course we stayed in the hotel and they showed us around town and do this, that, and so forth, and waiting for a specific time to ship us out to Halifax. We went over on the India ship, I can't remember, Madura, yeah. It was a cruise liner from India. And all Indian crew.
Is that right?
Yeah, they told us that if we ever got torpedoes or anything, shoot the Indians because they're going to jump for the boat ahead of everybody.
So you're a little nervous for U-boats, I imagine.
Well, yeah, we had duty every night going over. Beaufort duty, going up on Beaufort guns, got to fire them, get acquainted with them, and every night we had duty on board.
Now, you weren't in uniform yet?
Oh, no, we're all civilian.
But you were sworn into the RAF by then?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, so you were a civilian on the ship as well?
We were, yeah.
You weren't issued your number or anything yet?
Negative.
Is that right? Some fellows told me they got it as soon as they departed, they were issued their service number and they were officially. Is that right?
No.
So when you got across the pond, then they issued them then?
That was after we got the Air Ministry.
I see. So from there, where did you land in England then?
We landed in Glasgow. And took the train down. As soon as we got off the ship, there were people there to make sure we got on the train and head for London, and in London the next morning.
Is that right? And then they swore you in there?
Yeah, we went to Air Ministry,
And what did they say to you there then? What would they say with these American fellas showing up there?
Well, we went in right, and I wish I could remember the name of that one man. His whole job was assigning fighter pilots. He did all the assignment for fighter pilots.
Yeah. What was the comment though when they saw these Americans standing there? What was
nothing.
So you were just a body to fly an aircraft. Didn't matter where you came from. Didn't matter where you came from. It was strictly.
Yeah, because there were people from everywhere,
Yeah. So at that time, really, Americans weren't standing out any more than any other.
Negative.
Any more than Czechs or Poles or
That's right.
anyone else.
South Africans, Australians.
Yeah.